Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mark Olmos here with Chief Steward Brad Lewis. And Brad, our first meeting back at Belmont, we had a track that presented in magnificent order today.
It was, Mark, presented in pristine conditions, and congratulations to Cameron Sutherland and John Wasland for the order of the track.
Now, we'll kick off with race one. The Perth Racing Twitter played over 1,300 metres. For the 2-year-olds, we had God I Love You, who was impeded for clear running.
It was until about the 350 metre mark there. The horse is going for a spell now. It came back with an abrasion to the off-hind, and that required some veterinary treatment. Daraja Jewel, it dipped on jumping but was able to be ridden forward after that. Performance Jewel, slow out of the barriers, lost 3 lengths at the start.
On to race two, sponsor a race handicap over 1,200 metres. Now, the hot favourite Vega Magic was plenty of issues in the run. It was challenged early and didn't finish off as a lot of punters expected.
No, that's right, and Jake Casey did put forward that he felt that the horse was travelling strongly around the corner, but when he rode it along from about the 150, didn't respond as well as he had anticipated and just laboured over the final stages. We did say to Apprentice Casey that in similar circumstances he should put his mounts under more pressure in the early part of the straight, but it certainly was challenged in the early and middle stages by River Dance, which was racing to his outside. That horse never settled at all, and if we look at the early times, we see that they've gone about 8 lengths faster for the first 600 metres, so that did take its toll on both River Dance particularly, but Vega Magic latterly, and Shady Grey was impeded from on straightening until about the 200 metre mark.
Also, the River Dance was in that market, Brad, and raced a bit keenly in the run.
It did, very keenly, and trainer Alan Matthews will take this horse back to trials now. We'll see a bit or a bridle change on River Dance just to have it settle at its next start, because it didn't help its chances at all today, as we all saw.
So a bit of a bridle change just to help that horse settle. Now, race 3, Belmont Bonanza, $20 offer, handicap over 1,000 metres. Dupratance raced done generously, but still finished off in second, so had a few excuses.
It did, a little bit torrid for the rider there through the early stages, got its head in the air on several occasions, and flying time out of the barriers awkwardly and struck the barrier with its rider becoming unbalanced, and Express Dancer lay outwards.
Race 4, the Amelia Park handicap over a mile. Respondent was wide and still had the audacity to run second.
That's right, and we did speak to Apprentice Porter after the race. He was caught 3 wide through the early and middle stages. He did try and get in the early stages of the race, but wasn't in a position where he could put any pressure on runners to his inside, so that left him stranded, if you like, 3 wide. We did put to him, was there an option to move forward in the run down the back straight, but he said give his instructions, which were to be back in the field, and also the weighting post of 58 kilograms. He was reluctant to do that. Looking at the race, we did say to Apprentice Johnson Porter, in similar circumstances, probably from about the 800 metres, he should have let Respondent travel forward, because he did get put 4 wide in the run from about the 600 metres. Northridge got out of the barriers awkwardly and was impeded until the 200. Tarquin Shadow led, tired over the final stages. Nothing wrong with the horse immediately after the race, Mark, so we'll follow up with Brett Pope.
Yeah, it was too bad to be true, that run from Tarquin Shadow. On to race 5, Perth Racing Membership Pro Rata Rate handicap over 1,400 metres. Now, Sensos and Mr. Paul Jordan, the trainer, advised punters that they would be going forward, and that was a big help to a lot of punters, because it ended up winning and leading quite comfortably.
Yeah, that's right, and we did notice that after that information was gained by Travis Rendell, who does our form and betting analysis. Travis Rendell actually approached Mr. Jordan just to see how this horse would be ridden, particularly after its last start, where we were informed that it was going to be ridden back off the pace and not lead. It did get back a lot further than most people thought last start, Mark, so Travis Rendell, using initiative, spoke to Mr. Jordan. We saw it up outside the leader today over an increased distance, which did help, and that had better suited it today. Through the run, Celebrity Dream was keen, as was Roth de Toff, which threw its head quite violently through the early middle stages.
On to race 6, Jane Bogue's Premium handicap over 1,000 metres, and the well-backed favourite during the week, Presenter Tie, drifted out and had excuses.
It did, Mark. It got some buffeting on jumping, and also just had to be angled outwards at the 250 to get clear. So that took a bit of momentum from it in having to angle out.
On to race 7 now, and Multicultural Race Day, May 14th, handicap over 1,600 metres. Futurism was wide for the majority.
That's right, and got carried inwards at about the 150 metre mark. And Mark, that was when Tangier lay inwards quite significantly. So we did bring that to the attention of trainer Ross Price, because it was quite an abrupt shift there at about the 150 metre mark from Tangier. The Flirt, it got a bump at the 1,100 metres and also over-raced and came back with a self-inflicted laceration to the near 4 fetlock.
Now, sorry, on to race 8, the final race of the day. One of the leaders, or leader one, was there any ruckus in behind that leading duo?
No, looking at the race, Top Show just impeded around the 250 metre mark, had to hold up there for a couple of strides. Spin to Wheels mark, a little bit disappointing. The vets are looking at Spin to Wheels now, so we'll publish our report in about half an hour's time and people can read the veterinary report on Spin to Wheels.
Excellent. And these stewards' reports will be up on the Chris website as soon as possible, I'm guessing, Brad?
That's right, and also through the day, Mark, we did some extra testing. We had our investigative staff out today, a number of pre-race samples taken, and also a number of horses pre-race urine tested also. So, busy day for the stewards. First meeting back, Mark.
Wonderful. Great to be back at Belmont, and that was our first meeting at Belmont for season 2015-16. Brad Lewis, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mark.